Hello my dear friends, welcome back to my channel. In this video we are again going to practice a reading passage to improve our understanding of English language to get high scores in IELTS reading module. So my today's passage is Fair Games. The title is saying Fair Game and there is the question mark games, fair games. We can understand both the words easily, but there is a question mark. It means the authenticity or the importance of something, or it could be games, is questioned in this passage. That's why question mark is there. Fair games means actually the title is saying, are these fair games? Do you think these are fair games? So let's start reading this passage with me so that you can learn new vocabulary words with their synonyms and how to make use of those words in sentence formations. So let's start from here. They're saying for 17 days, every 4 years, the world is briefly arrested by the captivating, dizzying spectacle of athleticism, ambition, pride, and celebration on display at the Summer Olympic Games. So here comes the keyword. They are talking about Olympic Games. The time period for these games is 17 days and these games come every 4 years, and they're saying the word is briefly arrested by. Captivating. Now this word we will understand. Captivating, dizzying, spectacle. All these three words we will try to understand. So the first vocab word I have chosen for you is that is captivating, and the synonyms for these words are captivating is something fascinating, something attractive, something magnetic, or in simple words something eye-catching. That is called captivating. And the sentences here are to give you the better idea of this word. The storyline of this movie is extremely captivating. It means the storyline of this movie is really eye-catching, attractive. Means the audience is impressed by the storyline or the theme of that movie. It is really captivating, magnetic, which attracts the audience. Second sentence is the captivating view of that place made me feel happy. Means it is a positive word. Captivating is something attractive, something impressive, something which caters our attention. That is called captivating. And then next word is dizzying. Dizzying means something amazing or something very fast or something confusing. Let's read these sentences to have its better understanding. As life flows at dizzying speed. Here I'm using this word in context with very fast. As life flows at dizzying speed, such festivals or many festivals you can say add meaning to our lives. Such festivals as Diwali, Christmas add meaning to our lives. Here the meaning is very fast. Then next meaning of dizzying is we can use it for the word confusing. There is a dizzying array of things that you can eat these days. Dizzying array, confusing means we are confused that what to eat or what to leave. There is a dizzying array of things that we can eat these days. We have so many options, there are so many alternates, so that thing is confusing. There is a dizzying array, there is a confusing array of things that you can eat these days. Next word was spectacle. Now it has two meanings. Spectacle could be a performance, a show, a representation. These three synonyms you can learn. Any performance, any show, or any representation could be the spectacle. Now see, the sentences are, the sunset was a stunning spectacle, right? Means the view of sunset was amazing. This is what I'm trying to say. The sunset was a stunning spectacle. Means it was the worth seeing scene. Next, the aerobatic moves made a great spectacle. The aerobatic moves made a great spectacle means show or performance or representation. That is called spectacle. Then we can also use this word spectacle for specs, what we wear. Like I can say the leg of my spectacle has broken and I want to replace that. That is spectacles. Now let's read further. Now if I understand this, for 17 days every 4 years, the world is briefly arrested by the eye-catching, confusing show of athleticism, ambition, pride, and celebration on display at the Summer Olympic Games. After the last weary spectators and competitors. Weary. This could be the new word for you. Spectators. We have just learnt about this spectacle. It could be a show, performance. So spectators, there would be the difference between these two, spectators and spectacle. We will learn about it. Competitors, you can understand, who are doing competition, who are in competition. Those are the competitors. Take care of the spellings. When you're reading something, you should pay attention to the new words you're learning, as well as you should also emphasize on the spellings of that word. So competitors have returned home. Now I will give you the meaning for this. Weary and spectators. We will discuss these two words. Word is weary and its meaning is tired, exhausted, or frustrating. For example, we were all weary. Weary means tired. We were all tired of waiting for you. When my eyes grew weary, exhausted, tired, I closed the book I was reading. So weary means feeling tiredness, feeling exhausted, or feeling frustrated. Next one was spectators. For spectators, the meaning is audience. Spectators, audience, public or crowd who are watching a show, who have gathered to enjoy a performance. That the club's home ground has a capacity of 1500 spectators. This is the number of people in the audience. The club's home ground has a capacity of 1500 spectators. Over 100 spectators means people who were watching something were injured, some of them critically. After the last, tired spectators and competitors have returned home. However, host cities are often left awash. Awash. Left awash. Awash is new occurrence. Awash in high debts and costly infrastructure maintenance. Word is awash and its meaning is something is flooded, something is overflowing, or something is submerged. It doesn't mean that that thing is flooded with water. It could be anything else. For example, his room was awash in sunshine. Means his room was flooded with some sunshine. Sunshine was overflowing there. Mumbai was awash with flood water due to heavy rain. Here, awash is used in terms of flooded. Then I would read it again. Host cities are often left flooded, overflown, in high depths. Means debts were there. Costly infrastructure maintenance was there. Means those cities were overburdened with high debts. Then the staggering expenses involved in a successful Olympic bid are often assumed to be easily mitigated by tourist revenues and an increase in local employment. Now this adjective is used for expenses, staggering. What could it be? Staggering spreading out, unsteady. Those are not stable. Upsetting, upsetting. Now see the use of this word in my sentence. The staggering price of gasoline will probably keep drivers off the roads during the holiday weekend. Means the prices are out of control. Prices are spreading out. Prices are just upsetting. We can't afford those. Those are unsteady. Then television actor earns the staggering amount of $2 million per show. Means that amount is unsteady. They are earning huge amount. So this is the meaning of staggering. So let's read it again. The staggering expenses means those expenses were really upsetting. Those were unstable. Involved in a successful Olympic bid. Bid are often assumed to be easily mitigated by tourists. Now tourists have done something to those expenses, those unstable expenses. Those are easily mitigated by, now we will learn this word, mitigated by tourist revenues. No, those were not by tourists, those were by tourist revenues. Mitigated by tourist revenues. Debts are there, expenses are there, but those are easily mitigated by tourist revenue. Now mitigated, this is again the new word for us. Mitigated means reduce, minimize, or lighten. Lighten, this is a simple word. For example, the problem of pollution can be mitigated with the joint efforts of people, public, and the government. Mitigated means controlled, reduced, or minimized. The doctor gave me a prescription to mitigate the pain. Mitigate means reduce, to reduce the pain. So this word is added in a vocabulary list for IELTS topic, for writing as well. When we are talking about any problem, you can say this problem can be mitigated by the government or by the people. But more often than not, host cities are shortchanged and their taxpayers for generations to come are left settling the debt. Means next generation will be overburdened with debts and their whole life will be spent settling the debt. Then Olympic extravagances. Again a long word is there, extravagances. Let's read its meaning. Synonym. The meaning of this word is extravagances means wastage, overspending, or squandering. This word you should also learn. Squandering means wasting money, overspending, and this is impressive word, extravagance. You should take care of the spellings. Let's have a better understanding of this word. His extravagance means overspending. Explains why he is always in debt. Right? Then, young ladies should learn to spend money carefully and avoid extravagance. Extravagance means wastage of money or squandering. Both have same meanings. Extravagance and squandering means overspending or wastage of money. Now we will read in the passage, they are saying Olympic extravagances means overspendings. Begin with the application process. Bidding alone will set most cities back about $20 million, and while officially bidding only takes 2 years for cities that make the short list. Most cities can expect to exhaust, feeling tired, a decade working on their bid from the moment it is initiated to the announcement of voting results from International Olympic Committee members. Aside from the financial costs of the bid alone, the process ties up real estate in prized urban locations until the outcome is known. Means they are selecting the city. Then this can cost local economies millions of dollars of lost revenue from private developers who could have made use of the land, and can also mean that particular urban quarters lose their vitality due to the vacant lots. Vitality, we will stop here. We will learn this vitality. Now, vitality is energy, high spiritedness or liveliness, means high energy, feeling energized, feeling in high spirits. She had so much vitality and energy. Vitality and energy. Here we can replace vitality with liveliness or high spiritedness. Next sentence is the doctor was proud to see his patient was full of vitality, means energy, liveliness. So we will read it again. They are saying particular urban quarters lose their vitality due to the vacant lots. Means the urban areas would lose their charm, their liveliness. Then they're saying all of this can be for nothing if a bidding city does not appease the whims of IOC members. Two words are there. If a bidding city does not appease. Appease, we can guess the meaning could be related to appeal. Appeal means that city does not appeal the whims. Now, whims means imagination or craze, or you can say passion. Whims of IOC members. Private connections and opinions on government conduct often hold sway. This thing is written there. Appease means calm down. I was near the meaning. Calm down, soothe, or pacify. This is the separate word. Soothe or pacify. For example, management hopes to appease the unhappy workers, means they want to make their unhappy workers happy. Appease the unhappy workers by raising their salaries. Appease means calming down, soothing, or pacifying. Next is you can appease the crying baby with a warm bottle of milk. So meaning of the appease is that bidding city does not pacify, calm down, or soothe the imagination of IOC members. Bidding costs do not compare, however, to the exorbitant bills. So for bills, this word is used, exorbitant, exorbitant. Let's check its meaning. Exorbitant means something excessive, something in excess, something unreasonable or exaggerated, out of limit, out of control. For example, it's a good hotel, but the prices are exorbitant. Prices are too much high. Those are excess. Those are in excess. Those are unreasonable. Then, exorbitant housing prices have created an acute shortage of affordable housing for the poor. Means the house prices are quite high. Those are exorbitant. Those are exaggerated. Right? They're saying, however, to the exorbitant bills, means those bills were unreasonable that come with hosting the Olympic Games themselves. As is typical with large-scale one-off projects, budgeting for the Olympic is a notoriously formidable task. Task we can understand. Now what is this? Notoriously formidable. Formidable task. What it could be? Let's check. Notoriously. The person who is notorious means the person is having a bad reputation. Notoriously, bad reputation, famous but in bad way, ill-famed, right? For example, statistics can be notoriously unreliable. We can't trust those, or those are famously unreliable. The nation had long been notoriously corrupt. Notoriously means having a bad reputation in terms of corruption. Is ill-famed because of corruption. So notoriously, notorious means having a bad reputation. And formidable task. What was that? Formidable. Formidable means frightening, dreadful, or invincible. Frightening means we are afraid of that, dreadful, or invincible. For example, invincible means that we can't win. The person could be invincible, any task could be invincible. In debate, he was a formidable opponent. Formidable means frightening, dreadful opponent. We were afraid of him. Then the task looks formidable, means this task is really frightening, this task is really dreadful. This is the meaning of formidable, formidable, right? Then we will read further. Los Angeles have only recently finished paying off their budget breaking. This could be the good phrase. Budget breaking 1984 Olympics. Montreal is still in debt for its 1976 games. To add insult to injury, this is also the phrase. Insult to injury means making a bad condition worse. Canada is the only host country to have failed to win a single gold medal during its own Olympics. The tradition of runaway expenses has persisted in recent years. Persisted means something continued for a long time, something lasted for a long time, or you can say perseverance or persevere. He persisted in his work until he succeeded, means he continued with his work until he succeeded. Then we can say the boy persisted in his opinion, means he stood with his. Next is the boy persisted in his opinion, means he continued with his opinion. So they are saying expenses has persisted. It means the expenses has continued, lasted for long. In recent years, London Olympics managers have admitted that their 2012 costs may increase in 10 times over their initial projections. Projections, forecast, anticipations, or expectations. Means for future they have predicted something. Calculations are based on projections, predictions, anticipations, expectations. Calculations are based on projections of existing trends, or you can say projections are made for the next financial years. Means plans for future are made, predictions for future are made, estimates for future are made. That is called projections. Cost may increase 10 times over their initial projections. Means whatever they have estimated, cost may increase 10 times more than that, leaving taxpayer pay this much. Then hosting the Olympic is often understood to be an excellent way to update a city's sporting infrastructure. I will also explain the meaning of infrastructure. The extensive demands of Olympic sports include aquatic complexes, equestrian circuits, shooting ranges, beach volleyball courts. I can understand all these. Students can understand all these. Shooting ranges, beach volleyball. What is this? Aquatic, equestrian, and of course, and this much seat athletic stadium. Now let's discuss aquatic and equestrian. Let's read first aquatic. Aquatic means relating to water. For example, swimming and water skiing are both aquatic sports. Aquatic means something related to water. The aquatic plant can only live in fresh water, means water plants can only live in fresh water. Then next one was equestrian. Equestrian. It could be an unfamiliar word to many of the students. It is related to horse riding. For example, my equestrian teacher has won many horse riding competitions. This word is specifically used for horse riding, so it doesn't have many synonyms. Hunting may be included as part of training in equestrian skills. It means they are talking about games. Equestrian circuit means horse riding circuits. Aquatic complexes means complexes for water games. Then they are saying yet these demands are typically only necessary to accommodate. In my previous video I have discussed this word accommodate means making space for a brief influx of athletes. Influx. Let's read about it. Influx means inflow, rise, or surge. Sudden rise, surge. The hotel has received a large influx of guests. Means the number of guests has risen. The country sealed its border to prevent the influx. Influx means inflow. Inflow of illegal immigrants. So influx is rise, surge, or inflow. Then they're saying here it could be influx of athletes means inflow of athletes, rise in the number of athletes from around the world. Despite the enthusiasm, this word is also useful for Ielts. In all the modules, you can make use of this word enthusiasm. Despite the enthusiasm, despite means although enthusiasm was there, enthusiasm means passion, zeal, excitement. Excitement we commonly use means excitement can be replaced with this word enthusiasm. For example, she played the piano with enthusiasm. Or you can say he shows great enthusiasm for his work. Enthusiasm means passion. Enthusiasm, you can learn it for learning, for essay writing. For speaking, you don't need to focus on the spelling, but for writing, you should learn spellings properly. Enthusiasm. He shows great passion for his work. Despite the enthusiasm means passion, excitement. Despite the excitement, many populations initially have for the development of world-class sporting complexes in their hometowns. Means they were excited that the infrastructure will be developed due to Olympic Games. These complexes typically fall into disuse after the Olympic fervor. What it could be? Fervor is again enthusiasm, zeal, intensity. For example, I love football, but I don't have the same fervor for other games. Fervor is enthusiasm, and for enthusiasm we have learned that it is passion. Excitement means I don't have same excitement for other games. Fervor. These election results bring an end to much fervor, much excitement, much zeal, much intensity. Means there was the disuse of those complexes after the Olympic excitement has waned. Olympic excitement has waned. Now waned is disappeared, something decreased, something dwindled. The group's influence had begun to wane by this time. Means influence, impression begun to decrease, to disappear, to dwindle, to reduce. Her popularity has been on the wane, decreased for some time, disappeared for some time. Even Australia, home to one of the world's most sportive populations, has left its taxpayers footing a $32 million a year bill for the maintenance of vacant facilities. Maintenance, I hope you understand how to take care of anything, how to organize, that is how to manage, that is called maintenance. Let's read further. They are saying another major concern is that when civic infrastructure developments are undertaken in preparation for hosting the Olympics, these benefits accrue to a single metropolitan center. Accrue means something collected, built up. It could be about sums of money. They share the profits which may accrue to them. which may be collected by them. If you do not pay within 28 days, interest will accrue, means interest will be collected. It will build up, means you have to give more money. There will be more sums of money, right? And for metropolitan is usually used for symbolizing large cities, urban areas. In metropolitan areas, all the facilities are available. I want to live in a metropolitan city to learn about other people's cultures. Means in metropolitan cities, the residents are belonging to different religions, communities. So, metropolitan is used for large city, with the exception of some outlying areas that may get some revamped sports facilities. And the meaning of revamped is renovate, redecorate, or refurbish. Revamped, renovate. This museum is revamped to attract more visitors. Revamped means it is renovated, it is redecorated, it is refurbished. This education system needs to be revamped. Revamped means reshaped, refurbished. Some revamped sports facility. Revamped means refurbished, renovate. In countries with an expansive land mass, this means vast swaths of the population miss out entirely. Furthermore, since the International Olympic Committee favors prosperous global centers. Prosperous. Meaning of prosperous is flourishing, blooming, or something beneficial. For example, education is the key factor for a prosperous, blooming nation, flourishing nation, or you can say developed nation. Government is investing more in prosperous areas rather than in undeveloped areas. Means those areas are flourishing, developing, blooming. We were here prosperous global centers. Means prosperous, those were flourished, those were blooming. Then they are saying the United Kingdom was told after 3 failed bids from its provincial cities that only London stood at any real chance at winning. The improvement of public transport routes and communication links tend to concentrate in places already well equipped. You can make use of this word. Well equipped means all the equipments were there. It was less with all the facilities, with world class infrastructures. World class adjective. Perpetually bypassing more minor cities create a cycle of disenfranchisement. Read it again. Create a cycle of. What kind of cycle is this? We'll read about it. Disenfranchisement. I also told you that I will explain about infrastructure. If this word is new for you, please make its meaning clear in your mind. Infrastructure is used for buildings, roads, power supplies, etc. Means basic structures and facilities, right? For example, infrastructure needs to be developed, means all the roads, buildings, and other facilities needs to be developed in government hospitals. Infrastructure is not good there. Good infrastructure is the major requirement for the functioning of a physical enterprise. Means for any company, for any organization. What is the major requirement? That is good infrastructure. Infrastructure means place, facilities, structures, etc. So we were learning disenfranchisement. Disenfranchisement means when you are deprived of a right, you are not allowed to use that right anymore. And specifically, this word is used when you are deprived of right to vote, right? For example, This disenfranchisement could bring unpleasant results. The disenfranchisement of civil rights is completely unacceptable. Means people should be allowed to use their civil rights. This disenfranchisement is completely unacceptable. Then we were learning that create a cycle of disenfranchisement. Disenfranchisement means you are not allowed to use that right. These cities never get an injection of capital. They fail to become first rate candidates and they are constantly passed over in favor of more secure choices. Means they were considering other cities. Finally, there is no guarantee that the Olympics will be a popular success. The feel good factor that most proponents I have already explained in my previous video when we were reading a different reading passage. Proponents are supporters, claimants who claim. Proponents of Olympic bids extol, and that was no doubt driving the 90 to 100% approval rates of Parisians and Londoners for their cities' respective 2012 bids can be an elusive phenomenon. Elusive phenomenon. Phenomenon is fact. Situation. What is elusive? Now, elusive is something difficult to catch, something slippery, something shifty. Means it shifts easily, it shifts frequently. For example, explanations to this theory are elusive. Means we can't explain this theory properly because its explanations are slippery, difficult to catch, shifty, shifts. Messages conveyed by her are elusive. We can't understand those fully. Those things are elusive. Can be an elusive phenomenon. Elusive, difficult to catch, or you can say slippery or shifty fact, and one that is tied to that nation standing on the medal tables. Ephemeral, ephemeral thrill, cannot compare. What kind of thrill is that? Ephemeral thrill. So meaning of ephemeral is short-lived. This seems very different word, but its meaning is very common. Ephemeral, short-lived, something temporary or something brief. What a beautiful word for the replacement of temporary. For example, I had ephemeral feeling of joy. Means that feeling of joy was short-lived, that was temporary, that was brief. Life sometimes could be ephemeral. Meaning is life could be temporary. So what they were saying, this ephemeral means short-lived. Short-lived, it was brief, thrill. Cannot compare to the years of disruptive construction projects. Now disruptive is troublemaking, distracting, out of control. For example, the disruptive behavior of the child did not let me finish my work. Means that behavior was distracting, that behavior was troublemaking, and that behavior was out of control. Some people have disruptive personality. Disruptive construction means it was troublemaking construction, it was distracting construction projects and security fears that go into preparing for an Olympic Games, nor the decades of debt repayment that follow. Greece preparation for Athens 2004 famously deterred tourists from visiting the country. What it had done to the tourists? It deterred the tourists. Now meaning of this word we can learn here. Deterred means prevent, stopped or hindered. For example, his illness deterred him to pursue his passion. Deterred means stopped or prevented or hindered. His illness stopped him to pursue his passion. The development of the country is deterred due to many social problems. Deterred means stopped or prevented. The development of the country is prevented due to many social problems. So, tourists were deterred from visiting the country due to widespread unease about congestion and disruption. Again, this word has appeared, disruption. We have just learnt about it. Disruptive means something distracting, something out of control, or something which is making trouble. That is called disruption. Now let's read further. There are feasible alternatives to the bloat extravagance. Feasible, we will learn. Alternatives means options. To the bloat extravagance. I think we have learnt about it. Extravagance means wastage, overspending, or squandering. So now this is your reinforcement of the words which you are just learning or which you have just learned. I will explain the meaning of feasible alternatives, feasible options. Now, meaning of feasible is something workable, something practical, or something achievable, something which works. This idea is feasible to adopt, means this idea is workable, this idea is practical. This project lacks the feasibility, means this project is not practical, this project is not achievable, means it lacks the feasibility. So they are saying there are feasible alternatives, means there are some workable options to the bloat, overspending and wasteful spending that comes with the modern Olympic Games. Now they are offering you alternate. They are saying Olympic Games are the waste of money. One option is to designate a permanent host city, means set a permanent host city that would be redesigned. For redesigning, which word we have just learned? Do you remember, guys? That was a revamped. Revamped means renovate, redesign, redecorate, or refurbish. They are saying that would be redesigned or built from scratch, especially for the task, means set a permanent city. Another is to extend the duration of the Olympics so that it becomes a festival of several months, means those should not be for 17 days. Local businesses would enjoy the extra spending. Spending and congestion would ease substantially as competitors and spectators. Again, spectators appeared. Spectators means public, crowd, or audience come and go according to their specific interests. Neither the Olympic city nor the extended length options really get to the heart of the issue. However, stripping away ritual and decorum in favor of concentrating on athletic rivalry would be preferable. Concentrating on athletic rivalry. Now, concentrating means focusing, athletic related to athletes. What is rivalry that is preferable? Now, for rivalry, we will understand. Rivalry is competition, conflict, or discord. There is competition among the athletes. That is called rivalry. It could be a conflict. For example, sibling rivalry is a real thing. There could be the rivalry among the siblings or between the siblings. Business rivalry exists between them since long time. Then they are saying concentrating on athletic rivalry. Rivalry means competition would be preferable. Feeling that the Olympics could simply be scrapped altogether. International competition could still be maintained through world championships in each discipline. Discipline means field. Most of these events are already held on non-Olympic years anyway. The International Association of Athletics Federations, for example, has run a biennial World Athletics Championships since 1983 after members decided that using the Olympics for their championship was no longer sufficient. Events of this nature keep world-class competition alive without requiring Olympic-sized expenses. So here our reading passage finishes. So my dear friends, from this reading passage you have learned many uncommon words which could be new for you. You should keep on learning and you should practice these words frequently so that you can grasp the proper meaning of these words.